So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to play an open G chord and why you might choose one over the other. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new content. Okay, so when you're first starting out on guitar, usually one of the first chords, full chords that you learn is going to be a G chord, in addition to C and F and a few others. You may have been taught the traditional way of playing the G chord, which is where you have your ring finger on the E string at the 3rd fret, your middle finger on the A string at the 2nd fret, and then you kind of put your pinky down here at the bottom like this on the high E string. Now, that's what I get. And the reason it's taught like that is because you can transition from a G to a G7 chord, which instead of playing the E string on the 1st or the E string on the 3rd fret, you're playing it on the 1st fret with this finger. So it sounds like this. And that's a good leading chord back to the root of C. So you'll hear that in some songs. Okay. When you're first starting out, that's kind of difficult because your pinky doesn't quite have the strength that you need it to be able to do that. Now that's one way. Another way is what we call the cowboy chord way or what have you, where instead of playing it like this to free up my index finger, I have my index finger on the 2nd string at the 2nd fret, my ring or my middle finger on the E string at the 3rd fret, and then I use my middle finger to catch that G on the high E string. And often this is a little bit easier, especially if you have larger hands and you can reach across the neck or if the neck's not too wide. So why would you play it like this if you could play it like this? And well, part of the reason is if you're doing any finger picking or you want to put in a little kind of a fill over top of the chord. You'll hear this a lot in bluegrass and country. It's easier to be able to play the scale over top of the chordal root. So I could play and there I'm just playing notes out of that G scale over top of using my index and index and my pinky finger. And then as I get to the lower strings, I'll move fingers around to kind of make it work. And finger picking is kind of the same thing. So there I'm just kind of messing around, but you get the idea. So we have these 2 ways of playing it, either playing it traditional grip or playing it kind of like this. So there's one more way to play it as well, and you'll see this played a lot. Instead of playing the G chord where I'm, basically we're only playing 3 notes, we're just repeating them. So So when I play it this way, I've got 2 B notes. Essentially, when we're playing a G chord, it's essentially G, B, and D. That's the only notes in the G chord. So G, B, D, G, B, G. And so it's got that unique flavor to it. All the chords will sound different because of the way the notes are stacked. So if I play a G bar chord, it sounds a little bit different. It's not exactly the same. Even though it's really the same notes, we're just stacking them different. So one thing that I can do is instead of playing just the G here on the high E string, what I can do is fret 2 notes here. And by doing that, what I've done is I've changed from having 2 B notes here and here. I've changed it to having 2 Ds. So I'm playing open D, and and that D here. And so it's only one note difference going from that to that. And you might think, well, how much difference is that going to make? Well, listen to the difference. Here is a standard G chord. Now here it is, playing it, fretting those two high notes so that I get that D instead of a B. There's the B. There's the D. It's very subtle, but a lot of people kind of like that. And you hear this in a lot of songs where they kind of play the standard G to a C add 9. And that's in a lot of songs because you get that D and G droning out a lot. So and there I'm just moving these two notes here over a set of strings, and I'm going to the C add 9. So that's 3 different ways to play an open G. You pick which one you like the best.